Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA,
Nothing else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
And the UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic is finally getting some respect. What's a man gotta do for a little respect around here? You go to work at the firehouse, you train by night, firehouse by day, and you still don't get no respect from your boss. You win the UFC belt, and you're beating guys that are getting paid more than you. What does a man have to do to get a little respect around here? Stipe Miocic, for the first time in his career now, is 100% happy with his UFC pay. And also, if you go to UFC.com and check out the pound-for-pound rankings, you'll see Stipe Miocic is a big number 2 on the pound-for-pound rankings. Looks like the UFC is finally giving the man a little bit of respect. This is what he had to say. Dana and I, we talked that stuff out, and it worked out great. He said 100%. Whenever he was asked about his UFC payday with UFC 226, if it represented the biggest payday of his life. And so, with that being said, man, if you recall, this is a story because Stipe Miocic has not felt in the past like the UFC respected him. So, in fact, in his last fight, whenever he won, he took the belt from Dana White, who normally puts the belt on the champion. I mean, everyone knows the custom. You win the belt, Dana White puts the belt on your waist, and you're the champion. Whether you're winning the belt or whether you're defending your belt, it's usually Dana White that gives you that honor. Well, Stipe was like, nah, dog. After he won his fight, took the belt, and he gave it to his coach. You put the belt on my waist, you know? That's a guy that actually respects me. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, he wasn't on the best of terms with Dana White in the UFC because he felt like he wasn't getting any respect. And so now he is. He's going to be fighting Daniel Cormier at UFC 226, the light heavyweight champion. This is a champ versus champ super fight. And if Stipe Miocic wins this fight, which he could very well, a lot of people actually expect him to, then it's going to be time to start talking about Stipe Miocic as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He's beat Alistair Overeem. He's beat Fabricio Verdun. He beat the big bag Ngannou. And now if he wins at UFC 226, he'll be the only heavyweight in history to beat Daniel Cormier, who's 13-0 coming into this fight at heavyweight. Also, only other person he lost to in his career at light heavyweight was John Jones, who failed his drug test after the fight. So with that being said, DC is one of the greatest fighters of all time with his credentials and what he's been able to do in MMA. And as far as heavyweight is concerned, he was undefeated there. So we got us a little fight this weekend. It's going to be crazy. There's not just title implications because it's a title. There's GOAT implications in this fight. Whoever wins this fight starts getting talked about in the GOAT conversations. If you're Stipe, you start getting talked about greatest heavyweight of all time. If you're DC, you start getting talked about greatest fighter of all time if you win this fight. This is a legacy fight of the highest order at UFC 226. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments about Stipe Miocic finally getting some respect. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to become a full-time MMA blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, or black belt, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/fulltimemma. I'm out.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOWG!